All right. Well, all I got is.
Oh, yeah, I could attest to that.
Right. So 4-0 there right now. I know. Yeah.
Sometimes speechless, sometimes at a loss for words.
What do you say? Right?
Turned around pretty quick, I think.
But I mean, I still think what happened there? What got those 3 goals in there, Connor?
I think the first goal wasn't horrible, and then I think as the period went on, they just got a little lazier and maybe fell back a little more.
Are we talking about our defense, or are you talking about?
I think
overall?
at the whole, they're just they boxed in. You could throw a blanket over them sometimes.
They were too close together, too many
and then,
there.
Then they do a great job at passing, and the Greyhounds spread it out really well. They did. Everybody's kind of chasing the puck, and then there's one guy that's open, and he's got a wide open shot, and Chardier's out to dry.
And then are they getting a little bit lost, and then kind of wondering which way to look?
It looks like the road map's just which way am I going?
Yeah. Still, Carson Chartier, I think, doing what he's supposed to be doing out there in between those pipes. He seems to be, the Sioux are working him that time. I mean, a few times in there, I think the Sting kind of let it slip by and made him work harder than he needed to be.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So, still another 20 minutes to turn it around, I guess, here. So, you're saying spread out more and Did they seem a little slower this time than the first
I think
period?
so. They're getting beat to the puck a little bit, and they're giving them more time to handle on the blue line. Definitely, the defense seemed like they have all day to make a decision, and they do. And they pass it over to the wing, and that's what happened on that last goal. Another 30 seconds left in the period.
Right. It seemed like we took the game to them in the first period.
Right.
Lee Baisley talks about that a lot, about us not always taking the game to the opposition. They did in the first period, but that was probably almost like the conversation in the Sioux locker room was like, come on, guys, you got to start taking this game to the Sting. And did we allow them to bring it to us, or were they just stronger and dominating?
I think they came out pretty hard. They haven't made many mistakes. Like, the shots are, again, pretty even again, but none of them have been very quality shots, and they took advantage of every opportunity they had.
Yeah. Tyson Doucette, like we saw him out there in the first period, and do you think that had an effect on the Sarnia Sting as to like, ooh, these guys are, I don't know, like.
I think it can. I think it definitely can. You're on, everybody's buzzing, and then one of your buddies goes down, and now he's, he might not be well, and it kind of takes the steam out of the room a little bit.
Yeah, but it's sitting in the back of the brain there, going like, oh, I hope he's okay, like you said, and I guess something like that can be distracting as well. Let's talk about. We saw a penalty out there. Then it was under review for a matched penalty, and it looked like the Sioux had a 5-minute penalty. It came down to 2, and then they threw one of our guys in there too. Your thoughts on that?
They did. I think it was undisciplined. It was. I don't know if it deserved a match penalty, and I'm glad that they didn't give him one. But it was definitely a high hit, and then kind of like, what you doing? What are you doing out there? Like,
yeah.
Like I said, that's the emotion to get into them, and I'm sure now they're starting to feel it, being down 4-0 and playing a good game and not being able to get a puck past the goalie. You definitely get pretty frustrated by the third period.
Yeah. You think the Sioux are going to come out and poke that bear a little bit more just to try to stay ahead, or are they just going to play like they just like? I feel like because we're a young team, I think other teams that have more experience and that are stronger than us on paper know how to get under our skin.
I think that's
a
pretty
factor
accurate.
in what just happened?
I think so for sure. Yeah, like you said, these guys have been around for 3 or 4 years, and then some of our players, it's their first year in the O. So I think that definitely factors in. Someone might, say the wrong thing or behind the whistle, and then that might be a slash or a stick in the back of the legs. That wouldn't have happened to somebody else.
I'm intimidated just standing up in the media booth watching sometimes, and these guys walk by, and I'm like, wow, like
they're big kids
with no skates on.
Yeah,
Never
kidding.
mind with the skates on. Well, I guess we're going to see what comes out here. Coming, we're still about 12 minutes away. Last period's last chance, I guess, is at the end of the day what we're saying. If the Sting can come out and do what they did in the first period, and we've seen them come back in a position that they're in right now, 4-0 against a strong team, they've really just got to get collective out there and start going, okay, whoa, we know what we did in the first period. We need to go back to that first period and bring that back out here onto the ice again. And I still think there's opportunity here for the Sarnia Sting.
It's still definitely within reach if they can go back to that first period and put it together. I think it's definitely within reach, but it's a tough task. But stranger things have happened.
And a tough task going back to the coach's side of things as well. Again, talking about you were that age once. I was 100 years ago, but what do you think a coach is? A coach like a dad sometimes? Do you think he I don't think he's going there. It'll be okay, son.
I think they have to find the fine line between being a friend and a mentor. Like, you want to be there to support them, but you also want to be there to push them, right? To get the best out of them. And,
that's a tough job being a coach too.
That's right. Between yelling at them and saying you did a good job, or it's a fine line to walk.
Yeah, well, I don't know that yelling. I don't
Maybe
know.
not yelling.
I know in sports. No, we see that
too.
in sports though, because we watch the movies and the stuff, and the coaches yelling and motivational speech. I don't see Alatang as being the yelling type.
No, he's definitely more of a calm guy.
But he's straightforward. Although we saw him interacting with the referees there on that fight call, or not fight, but roughing or whatever happened out there. And you could see him. It seems of late he's gotten a little more involved in how he talks to the referees. There seems to be a little more emotion coming out there. And I don't know. It's got to be hard to hold back when you're sitting where you're sitting in the standings, and there's more capability of this team. And then you got to I don't know. We talk about the emotions of the players on this team, but the emotions of the coaches really have an impact on what happens too.
Oh, I'm sure he's up all night thinking about every play that happened and what he could have done differently or who he could have put out there differently. Like, I'm sure these guys don't sleep very much.
Well, I know the coach's heart is in it for sure. It's the entire staff. They're all a very dedicated staff, right down to just everybody who's looking after the hockey sticks, all the stuff behind the scenes that we don't see. So shout out to everybody who's a part of the Sarnia Sting. All right, I don't know much more we can say on this, Connor, other than we're
stay vigilant.
Just and regroup out there.
Yep.
Come back to what you were doing in the first period. Tune it up a little bit, and there's still opportunity here for the Sarnia Sting. Hopefully that changes out there. Connor, thanks for joining me all evening tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
And thanks to all of you who joined us here. We'll be back post-game press conference. Never know who's going to show up there. We'll be live everywhere, including the Sarnia Sting Facebook page. You can follow them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I think they're on Twitch. And just a whole other.
Holy smokes.
We're just kind of everywhere. So please click the share button so others can enjoy our banter. Do we even know what we're talking about?
It's a serious discussion here, I think.
More than that Jay Peckham guy. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. As always, live from the concourse with the Sarnia Sting, I'm David Burrows. My friend Connor Burke, one more time. 1, 2, 3, go Sting, go.